Hey YouTube, this is probably going to be the last video that I'm going to make and upload tonight because it's almost midnight and I need to get off my ass and clean the house. So, this is another tag, another one that I've seen a few people make that I kept saying I'm going to do it, and I'm just now getting around to it. So, without further ado, the intuitives tag. I think the last one that I saw was Tequila's, Lady Grave Dancers. And she did a really, really good job with it. And I think Cheryl did it as well, and maybe Brenda, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, a lot of people did it, and yeah. But I'm doing it now. Question number 1. Share your first paranormal experience that comes to mind. Oh boy. See, the problem with that is, I don't know how it works for you guys, but Zeus, stop moving the table. I'm making the video on little, like the dinner tray stand thingies, and my dog is of course laying on the floor instead of up on the couch where he normally is so that he can bump the table every time he moves. Anyway, my earliest memories, because I have memories from about 2.5 years old on, and my earliest ones are kind of in a jumble to where I don't know what came first, I just have pieces of memories, and a lot of them include, you know, spirits and things like that. But I'm gonna share the first one that really, I don't know, it was the weirdest experience I have ever had. I will never understand it. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. I was about 4 and I was laying in my bed and I was trying to sleep like, you know, every fucking night. And it wasn't working like every night. And I was kind of just, you know, laying there. And suddenly, hold on one second. If any of you guys have had anything like this happen, please tell me about it, because again, I don't know how it happened or why, but all of a sudden I was not in my bed, I was not in my body, I was not me anymore, and I was looking through the eyes of a girl who I knew without, like, I didn't see it happen, but I knew she had been kidnapped. And she was like 16 or 17, maybe 18 tops. And she had been dragged into a cellar that had a big house on top of it. It was like a big old farmhouse, which outside of my hometown there's many of them. And this guy had taken her. And him and his dad lived in this house. And this was not the first time he had done this. And Zeus? Damn it. Oh. Anyway, and I know his dad knew what was going on because she had, like, memories or whatever of his dad coming in and seeing her and just walking back out like it was no big deal. But she was hung up like this with her arms, you know, above her head, and she was naked and she was really, really cold. It was about, I don't know, October, November-ish, and it was, you know, fairly dark in the cellar. But there was like I don't know if you guys have ever seen the type of lights that mechanics will work on cars in the dark with. My uncle used to have one because my uncle's a mechanic and an auto body guy. But I knew what it was because of my uncle. And he had one of those lights sitting like on the floor. And he had a radio because in the distance I could hear an Alice in Chains song playing. I believe, I want to say it was Would You, maybe? I don't remember the song, I just remember it was Alice in Chains. She was really, really, really fucking scared. And I watched this guy kill her. He wrapped his hands around her neck and he would choke her to the point where she was almost unconscious. And then he would let go and let her come back. And then he would choke her again and again, and finally he killed her. And I knew that she knew that I was there with her. I don't know how the fuck it happened, because this was not like me seeing a spirit or hearing a spirit, or she wasn't dead yet. I watched her die. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was really fucked up, and I never had anything like that ever happen again. I mean, like when I'm talking to a spirit or whatever, sometimes I can see how they died. But I've never ever had another experience where it was like I channeled through her and I was with her as she died. I don't know. I don't even know how it happened. But That was my first major big experience that I can remember. Have you ever had a premonition? Usually I get hunches more than I do premonitions. The only time I would say that I've had an actual legitimate premonition, it was about a month or so before September 11th, 2001, right before the Twin Towers. And I had a dream that I was in a city that looked like New York. And I was looking up at the sky, and all of these pieces of debris were coming from the sky, and in the dream I thought a bomb had gone off in a building, because that's kind of what it looked like. And people were running, and I was very, very scared, and I got underneath a car to try to protect myself from the shit that was falling from the sky, because I knew if this stuff hit me, a big enough chunk, I was fucked. I told my mom about it the next day because it was so vivid and so real and so not like a dream. And when September 11th happened, of course, it made more sense. But I have heard other people say that they had dreams and shit like that prior to September 11th. I don't think that, I was the only one. Yeah. 3, when did you get your first tarot or oracle deck, and what deck was it? I was given my first deck by my mom. It had been her deck, and it was the Rider-Waite deck. I bought my first deck with money my grandfather had given me, and it was the Fairy Oracle deck. I was 11 or 12, might have been 12, when Mom gave me my first deck, and then I was 15 or 16 when I bought my first deck for myself. 4, what element do you connect with the most? Water. Definitely water. Always been water. I love the water. I love it. I crave it. I would love to live by the ocean and listen to the waves and see the water and be in the water and all of it. I love it. Do you believe in fairies? Absolutely. Not necessarily the storybook version of fairies, although they may exist too. I look at fairies as a group like humans that encompasses different types of fairies. So, yeah, I believe in fairies. Do you prefer the moon or the sun? Definitely the moon. I've always been a night owl, and yeah. But that's not to say I don't appreciate the sun, because there are times when I really, really need the sun. Like, I'll feel really, really, really shitty, and I'll go outside, and it'll be, late spring or early fall, to where it's that perfect kind of day, and I'll just sit out there and soak up the sun and feel so much better. But as far as, like, a spiritual connection, I definitely connect more with the moon. What is your favorite crystal or stone? Amethyst. Definitely amethyst. Always has been. Can you see spirits or spiritual beings? I can't see them with my eyes anymore, but I can see them with my mind. If they are talking to me and we're open to each other, I can see what they look like, or I can see their memories from their point of view, or something like that. So, yeah, anyway. Would you rather be able to fly on a broomstick, breathe underwater, make things grow faster, or control fire? All of the above? I want it all, baby. I don't know. See, they all have their pros and cons. Like, flying on a broomstick would be fucking awesome. To be up there on the broomstick with the birdies and the clouds, and that'd be a good time. But then, like, what if I fall? Or I have kind of a big butt. I do, and I just don't know how that would work with a broomstick. So, pros and cons, Breathing underwater would be fucking awesome, because I could go deep sea diving and I could see all the cool shit, all the cool creatures and whatnot that's at the bottom of the ocean. But I have a really, really bad sense of navigation and direction, so, like, I'd probably end up in the middle of the fucking ocean, and, your skin gets all wrinkly and shit. I don't know. Make things grow fast, that would be awesome. It'd be really cool, because, like, who doesn't want things to grow faster when they plant them? But, I don't know, that seems like, to give that up for flying on a broomstick. Controlling fire would be really fucking cool, and it could be like a lifesaver, so could breathing underwater. I don't know. Can I do all of it? I want to do all of it. Alright, next question. What is the animal totem you feel most connected to? You guys are gonna fucking laugh at me because I feel very connected to cats. I love cats. I've always loved cats. I feel connected to them. But I am very, very connected to phoenixes. I don't know why. They're not real things, you know, they're mythical creatures. But I really love me a phoenix. But there's other, like, I don't know. My first animal totem was the bear, strangely enough. And of course I do feel connected to the bear, but I feel connected to a lot of different types of animals. That's my fucking problem right there. But the first animal that was ever kind of introduced to me as my totem was the bear. My first spirit guide is awesome. He's really awesome, but he's very cryptic. And he will give me fucking riddles instead of answers because he wants me to figure it out for myself. And he makes me meet him on his plane of existence because he's not so fond of mine. And yeah, he's kind of high maintenance, but in a good way because he's really awesome and he's always there for me when I need him, and he's pretty great. Do you feel more connected to the stars or the earth? Both. Can I do that? Can I say both? I feel connected to them in different ways. I feel connected to the earth in the sense that, you know, when I stand barefoot in the grass or on the dirt, I feel like I belong and like, you know, it's natural and it's right and I love it. But then when I stare up at the sky and at the stars, I feel like that's where possibility lays, if that makes any sense. Like, my body is more connected to the earth, but my soul is more connected to the stars. How hokey did that just sound? Oh my god. But there you have it. I guess I have my cheesy moments, huh? They're becoming more frequent. I've noticed that. What is your preferred method of cleansing? It depends on what I'm cleansing and why. If I have just picked up like new things for my altar, which at this point happens like once a fucking decade, I tend to cleanse it with the earth, air, fire, water method that I was taught when I first started out. You know, like you take it and you cleanse it with dirt, and then you run it through smoke, and then you run it through fire, and then you cleanse it with water or whatever. If I'm like this one, this necklace I cleanse every summer solstice, and I will do that way. If I just have something that needs cleansed because it just doesn't feel right or whatever, I'll use white light energy. Sometimes on my cards, on my tarot cards and my oracle cards, I'll use a smudge stick or I will use incense. It just depends on what I'm doing. Salt water works really well too. I also have bottles of ocean water that I've used, rainwater, thunder water that I've collected that I've used. So it just depends, really. What color do you feel most spiritually connected to? Definitely purple. Purple is my favorite color. It is the color that speaks to me the most. It is, I love it. I love purple. I love all different shades of purple, from really light to really dark. I have had rooms purple, I have had my hair purple, my lips are purple, my eyeshadow is purple. I love purple. And I really feel, I've always felt really connected to it. So, definitely purple. And there you have it, the intuitives tag. I will put the questions in the description bar in case anybody out there wants to do it, and I tag whoever wants to do it. So, thank you to everybody who did this tag that I was able to watch and see because I really liked it and I had fun doing it. So, thank you. Hope y'all have a beautiful week, and I hope y'all remember to smile.